Let us withdraw the mind from external things and focus it on the Divine Spirit and pray for the welfare of all the beings. Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat Om Stavakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stavakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avadara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Yate Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to remove all our ignorance, to remove all our suffering, to give peace and joy. We have been discussing some points of worship. Sri Ramakrishna was giving spiritual instructions to Pandit Shashadhar, who was basically a scholar. Sri Ramakrishna wanted to blend his scholarship with devotion. Jnana Bhakti Samuchaya, the combination of Jnana Bhakti, is the remarkable ideal. Bhakti is the taste of knowledge. To enjoy the glory of knowledge, you must have devotion. Well, in the last class, we were discussing the important characteristics of worship. One is sacrifice, second one is adoration, third one sacredness. It is very helpful if we know these characteristics very clearly, so that our devotion, our worship becomes meaningful. We are offering worship every day, not for nothing. Worship is one of the main spiritual practices. It takes us very close to God. So the meaning of sacrifice in the true sense is giving up selfishness. That is the core of the nature of sacrifice. Then adoration. It is love plus reverence. When the love is associated with reverence, it becomes bhakti. If you are practicing devotion, you must have reverence. With love, you must revere. Thirdly, sacredness. It imparts sanctity to the worshipper and the articles of worship. These characteristics we studied at length in our last class. There is one more characteristic of worship, which is also very useful. That is an adoption into the spiritual family of a god or a goddess. You must establish different relationship with the God whom you are worshipping. The psychic makeup of the worshipper forms a basis for his relationship with his chosen idol. Herein comes the importance of myth and ritual. They help to establish relationship with the God whom you are worshipping. Myths, what are they? They are sacred stories about gods, goddesses and incarnations. Number of stories. No end. Infinite. For example, Devi Mahatmya, probably you are all well familiar with. It's also called Chandi, very popular in Bengal. But there are many Devi stories are there which are popular in South India too. It tells about the life of the Divine Mother, her sport, her ways of dealing the devotees, her ways of granting boons to the spiritual aspirants, and her ways of granting salvation. All these things are very clearly expressed in those stories. How she would like to be worshipped by the spiritual aspirant, and how she would make the devotee more and more happy, giving boons, bringing him more close towards her. In fact, Sri Ramakrishna worshipped Divine Mother Kali The famous temple at Dakshineshwar on the bank of Ganges, that was built by one of the great devotees of the Divine Mother, Rani Rasmani. She had the vision of the Divine Mother. She was very devoted, very sacrificing, very loving. She strictly followed all the spiritual instructions prescribed in the Tantra Shastra. So she became so dear and close to the Divine Mother. Divine Mother herself expressed the wish that she should build a temple for her. She was on her way to Benares. She stopped her journey. She returned back, started constructing the temple for the Divine Mother. And again, the Divine Mother was showing grace, showing her glory. When Sri Ramakrishna became her worshipper. How Sri Ramakrishna established very close relationship with the Divine Mother. It's only through worship. And the result was Divine Mother herself arranged everything for Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual achievements. The gurus would come to his place. It's not the disciple searching for the guru. The guru was searching for the disciple. All these things happened. In the same way, if you take Bhagavatam, it tells us about the life of Sri Krishna, how he played, how he gave joy, thrilling stories are there. Some of these stories may be historically true, but the others are not false because they have a mystic reality and undeniable spiritual validity. Without myth, it is impossible to enter into a deep personal relationship with the deity. So don't discard, it's a myth, story like that. Don't entertain such careless You should never entertain such thoughts in the mind. You have to be very careful and cautious, as I said in my earlier class. So herein comes the next important aspect of worship, namely ritual. The ritual is a symbolic act which expresses a mystic relationship between the aspirant and the deity. So, ritual is a kind of sacred language. man is not only a knower but also a doer. He can express his feelings through words as well as through actions. Perhaps more eloquently through actions. Your nature is exposed through your actions. In what shape you are can be rightly estimated by observing the actions. Actions. And our expressions, how we talk, how we act. Anyway, the rituals play a very important part in worship. They are not artificially coded like music, like dance. Ritual too springs spontaneously from a deep layer of consciousness where the devotee touches the divine harmony of the rhythms of life. The primary function of worship is to prepare the mind for higher meditation. As has been said many times, meditation is the third stage in the process of concentration. Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. The earlier two stages are pratyahara, means withdrawal of the mind from sense objects. Dharana means fixing the mind at the center of consciousness. So we have discussed in our previous class that prayer is the devotee's way of practicing pratyahara. In the same way, worship is regarded as the devotee's way of practicing dharana. Through prayer, what is done? The will is detached. Then it gets fixed or focused on the divine form through worship. That's why when you start worship, first you offer salutations. You bow down to the deity whom you are worshipping. These are all acts of focusing the mind on the deity. You bow down. The stage is set now. Looking at the deity, I bow down. That means you are directing the mind on the deity. So, when the will is fixed on a higher plane, thoughts flow in that direction. When this process lasts longer, it becomes meditation. When the mind is properly directed towards the deity, and when you perform the service in the right spirit, with love and reverence, then the mind becomes well prepared for meditation. Thus, worship gives a good training in focusing the will at a higher plane. Secondly, worship strengthens the relationship between the worshipper and the worshipped. I-thou relationship with God. Thou art my master, I am thy servant. Thou art my father, thou art my mother, I am thy child. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha saka tvameva, tvameva vidya drvinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. So that kind of relationship is established in worship. This relationship can also be established through prayer and meditation. But worship creates a special relationship with God, characterized by self-surrender and service, which please God greatly. There is a parable of Sri Ramakrishna which illustrates this point. There was a poor tenant farmer. One day he came to see his master. He brought a pumpkin as a gift. When he saw the master asked him, "What do you want?" The farmer replied, "Well, I don't want anything. Just I came to see you. Please take this gift. I love to give this." The master saw him. He was moved by his simpleness and guilelessness. He was moved by this poor man's unselfish love. He was a poor man, but still he brought something to give. There are people who give only in words. They don't want to give in any other form. They just want to pour their love through words. Just words. Not through deeds. Anyway, the master was so much pleased. He made him sit beside him. He treated him very lovingly. And the master's grace fell upon this poor man. Suppose without the permission of the landlord, the farmer had attempted to occupy a seat near the master, what would have been done? He would have been driven out, knocked out by the servants. Who is this guy coming and sitting by the side of the master without any prior information? This simple is an analogy. In the same way, when God is pleased with the devotion of the devotee, He makes him sit near Him. He makes him sit. Come, sit. This sitting near is called in Sanskrit upasana. That is meditation. You are sitting in front of God, having established a different relationship between yourself and God. And you have been able to sit there on account of your love and reverence, on account of your attitude of self-surrendering and wholehearted service. Sri Ramakrishna said, God's grace is necessary for the practice of meditation. And this grace comes through prayer and worship. Everyone is in dynamic contact with the cosmos at different levels. And the abundance of life is flowing into everyone in the form of food, in the form of material comforts, in the form of knowledge, etc., etc. If a person allows to retain all these and allows his mind to cling to them, the mind becomes impure. But by giving to others all that are in excess of his personal needs, mind gets purified. A true devotee accepts all good things coming from the divine source and offers them to his fellow beings as service to the indwelling God. This is the bhakta's way of practicing renunciation. He loves to give. The act of giving, the way how you give, is called renunciation. Service to others, done as worship, is as purifying and liberating as renunciation. An attitude of worshipful acceptance is indeed far better than an egoistic rejection. What is important in spiritual life is not how many things you have given up, but how much of egoism you have given up. If you are harboring your egoism, then you are far away from God. So you are qualified through renunciation. How far you are able to get rid of your ego, or how far you are able to disconnect yourself from ego, or how far you are not nourishing anymore the ego which disturbs you all the time, irritates you all the time, makes you miserable. Ego, it blocks the channel of communication with the universal stream of life and alienates the soul from the Supreme Spirit and produces spiritual impoverishment. So, worship has got great effect on this. It reduces the ego and clears the channel for the flow of divine grace. Higher training for the will, establishing a close relationship with the deity, purification of the mind, these are the primary functions of worship. The ultimate purpose of worship, however, is the direct vision of the deity. All worship is based on the basic belief that one can contact the divine through it. Worship gives solace and confidence to face the problems of life and is the door to transcendent reality. Sri Ramakrishna himself started his spiritual life through worship and got his achievement through worship. Got everything through worship. So, act of worship trains your mind, makes you more and more humble, takes you more and more near towards God. So let us have that worshipful attitude with God whom we are meditating upon. We must develop a different relationship with the God whom we are worshipping, whom we are meditating upon. And we must be very practical in following the spiritual instructions. That's the way how we should march in this spiritual journey. Page 501, the chapter Festival at Adha's House, chapter 26. The gopis of Vrindavan too attained the knowledge of Brahman, but they were not seeking it. They wanted to enjoy God, looking on themselves as his mother, his friend, his handmaid, or his lover. The bowls from Shibpur began to sing to the accompaniment of a stringed instrument. A line in the first song was, "We are sinners, redeem us, O merciful Lord." Master said to the devotees, "It is the attitude of a beginner to worship God out of fear. Please sing about God realization, songs expressing divine joy." To Rakhal, Sri Ramakrishna said, "How well they sang that song the other day at Nabin Niyogi's house. Be drunk, O mind, be drunk with the wine of heavenly bliss." While singing religious songs, one should not constantly refer to one's worries. One should rather feel joyous and ecstatic as one chants God's name. A devotee said, "Sir, won't you sing?" Master said, "What shall I sing?" "Well, I may sing when the spirit moves me." After a few minutes the master began to sing. His eyes were turned upward. He sang, "Behold the waves of Gora's ecstatic love. Under them all the universe lies submerged, and in his love I too long to be drowned. O friend, Gauranga's love has swallowed me. Who else feels for our misery like Gauranga, dragging us from the mire of worldliness?" He sang again, "Dive deep, O mind, dive deep in the ocean of God's beauty. If you descend to the uttermost depths, there you will find the gem of love." Then he sang about the Divine Mother. "Can everyone have the vision of Shama? Is Kali's treasure for everyone? Oh, what a pity my foolish mind will not see what is true." He continued, "The black bee of my mind is drawn in sheer delight to the blue lotus flower of Mother Shama's feet." And again he sang, "O Mother, what a machine is this," referring to the human body, "that thou hast made. What pranks thou playest with this toy, 3.5 cubit height." As Sri Ramakrishna sang the last song, he went into Samadhi. The devotees sat speechless, gazing at his radiant figure. After some time, he regained partial consciousness of the world and began to talk to the Divine Mother. The Master said, "Mother, please come down from up there." Did he feel his mind still lingering in the 7th plane of consciousness, the 1,000-petaled lotus of the Sahasrara? "Please do come down," he said. "Don't torment me that way. Be still, Mother, and sit down. O Mother, everybody's future is determined by the tendencies of his previous births. What shall I say to these people? Nothing can be achieved without discrimination and renunciation." Shall stop here. Yeah. Now your comments. Jnana, bhakti, karma, all these have their wonderful effect on our system. Bondage and liberation, both are in our hands. You are in bondage as long as your mind is impure. You get liberation when the mind gets purified. All these different yogas are nothing but the processes by which the mind gets purified. Then everything is easy. So purification of the mind is the toughest thing that everyone faces in their life. One way of practicing purity of mind is always thinking about God. Always feel you are part and parcel of God. Always feel you are wave of the ocean. God is the ocean. You are the wave. That feeling makes you more humble. That's one way of keeping the ego under control. Now to know the process of yoga and how the different chakras work, etc. To know it is all right, but to practice it, how far it is practical, to practice Kundalini Yoga in this modern age, that is a big question. It's very interesting to know the things. But Sri Ramakrishna himself has explained all these chakras in a very graphic way. We have already gone through that in previous chapters. Is true with respect to the soul's journey. And when he enters into Sahasrara, that is the final point. But as Sri Ramakrishna himself suggests that in this modern age, it is extremely difficult to practice yoga. And particularly when the mind is preoccupied with so many things, tormented by the duties, how that person can get rid of that notion of duty. He's tied down. The more he wants to get out, the more he feels bound. He feels he cannot get out of it. Then what is the way? That's why Sri Ramakrishna tells the path of devotion is most suitable in this age. As I said, the path of yoga is the path of rigorous discipline. At every struggle you have to make. First of all, you must know, you must unload what all the dirt has been accumulated in the mind. Without removing those dirt, how can you practice purity? First you must have general cleaning. Then you must have another round of general cleaning. Then you must have special cleaning. Special cleaning also has to be done twice or thrice or depending upon the nature of the thing. So, you can imagine how difficult it is. But then, it is not to suggest that it is not possible to practice spirituality. But Sri Ramakrishna himself tells, well, you are in the world carrying on duties, very good. Don't get disordered. But do your activities with your devotion to God. So that is the way Sri Ramakrishna has prescribed. It is very good to know all these things. Pranayama also is there, one of the limbs of Raja Yoga. That also deals with tremendous power of mind, and you can remarkably achieve very unbelievable results in this very life if you can practice pranayama. But as I said, this age is not fit for practicing such rigorous disciplines, though they are all true. Maybe 1 in 1 million might be doing yoga, but devotion can be practiced by anyone, anybody, any community. Devotion is based on love. As I said, love combined with reverence becomes devotion. And the path of devotion takes you in a very natural way. In a natural way, you practice renunciation. As I said in the class, the act of giving, act of doing wholeheartedly, with love, that becomes renunciation. When you are doing in that fashion, you are getting yourself purified. That means you are getting rid of your selfishness. You have no time to think about yourself. You are always happily engaged in thinking about others, in doing service to others. So that way you are indirectly training the mind to get itself purified. And prayer, worship, these things will certainly take you to the same goal as the path of yoga. You can get into samadhi state through bhakti. So there is no conflict here. It's a natural process, very natural process. So that is the thing. And the Kundalini Yoga, etc. is possible only when you practice all the delicate disciplines they have prescribed there. Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Brahmacharya. The toughest part is Brahmacharya. How far you can follow Brahmacharya? Celibacy. So, it has got its own difficulties. Anyway, it's true. Staying at the Anahata Chakra, that is at the heart center, means what? Staying at the heart center means you are not entertaining any desires of the world. You are no more bothered about the desires of the world. You just spat out. You just don't like anything of the world. You are fascinated only about spiritual ideas. You try to dwell upon those spiritual thoughts. In a way, you entertain spiritual desires to overcome, to counteract the worldly desires. So when you are able to establish yourself thoroughly, when your mind is occupied with spiritual vibrations totally, then it is said you are good at heart center. But if the mind for some reason thinks of something else, that means your mind has slipped down from the heart center. So instead of concentrating on which center my mind is working upon, the positive way of thinking is keep on occupying your mind with spiritual ideas. Be consciously doing the things, offering as worship to God. Always try to correct yourself from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. Even if somebody has made a mistake, you don't have to point out. Look, there's a black spot on your cloth. Don't tell that. Why do you waste your energy? To that extent, your mind is drawn out. Your mind is drawn out and sitting on that filth of somebody else. What is the meaning of finding fault? Your mind is enjoying the filth of another person. Filth. That means you are spoiling more than that person himself. He is not bothered about that, with that fault he is getting on well. But you are bothered and you are worried, you are depressed, you are gone down, you get reaction, you get irritated, you get all sorts of nonsense. All these things happened because your mind sat on that filth, just like a common fly which sits on the dirt. That's the way. We are not careful. We simply talk. We are not serious about what we are doing. Because there is no seriousness, you won't get the result. The result also is like that. If you are bent upon getting result, that should show up in this very life. It has got some meaning. I don't know what will happen after my death. Who knows where I will go? Who knows how my mind is, in what condition when I lose my consciousness? Who knows it? Who tells? Who is to tell? So, you have to prepare the mind. If today you are happy, not irritating anybody, not finding fault with anyone, not becoming angry, if you are able to practice it that day is blessed day for you. You are wonderful. Like that you build up next day also. Like that you build up your life. Then you yourself feel the joy of it. You yourself will feel the joy of it. So, mind must be occupied with spiritual ideas. That's very, 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 very important. Then only it's possible. Spiritual ideas have tremendous power of washing away all the dirt of the mind. Spiritual ideas. So, that's all. Anything else? You have to find out why you are facing some problems in meditation. Why you are not able to do japa. What is it that's troubling you? There are so many techniques of doing it. If it is not possible this way, I will do that way. If it is not that way, I will go third way. So many ways are there. Don't think if I cannot go, I cannot go at all. No. So thinking of God, remembering God, saying the name of God always helps you. It never harms you. It helps you. If anything harm is happening, it is not because of your repeating the name of God. It is because of your foolish dirt, foolish crime that you might have committed. The result is on account of that. By repeating God, you are not getting any harm. It looks as if, oh, though I repeated so many times, still I am not free from all these troubles. What is the use of these things? This kind of lamentation is meaningless. Meaningless. Be prepared to face the suffering. Why should we be afraid of suffering? Fearlessness is to be practiced in all the fields. What is this suffering? What is this joy? These are all are temporary from the worldly point of view. The real joy is the joy of God. The real happiness is the happiness that you get by the vision of God. That's all. Anything else? See, the curse, sometimes the sages pronounce, they make some statements. It is a kind of punishment for the wrong thing done by the person. That pronouncement, you call it as curse. Unless the person passes through that kind of punishment, that person will not realize his mistake. He thinks he can do anything and he need not undergo any suffering. How can it be? So, curse is only an expression. It's only an expression for the reaction of the person who has done something wrong. And boon is an act of grace. God has that power of grace. You might have committed 1,000 crimes, 1,000 sins you might have committed. But if God's grace flows, then what are these sins? They are burnt down like the cotton by the fire. So boon, in a way, helps the devotee to come closer to God. He feels happy, oh, God has granted me this boon. So that strengthens his devotion towards God. That strengthens his character. That prevents him to do any more bad acts in the life. And because of this power, he gets the power of strength. You'll be able to bear this suffering. He'll be able to discriminate clearly what is what, why it is happening, what is this, etc. He is no more tormented. A real devotee is not tormented in the worldly sense. So, that's the way. So, boon comes only when you are able to love God wholeheartedly, and when you practice spirituality, then God Himself wants to give the reward even without your asking. So He gives boon. All right, let my devotee enjoy a bit. Of course, by seeing God, you may say, oh, I have seen you, I don't need anything, please don't give me anything. I am just satisfied by seeing you. That's true. That you are telling because you are seeing Him, so you are telling. But then God says, well, it's all right, but you have seen me and you are getting joy, and now I tell you you go and serve the humanity. People are suffering, go and do some help. It's good, I am always with you. So that assurance he gets, and he is prepared to undergo any suffering for the sake of the humanity. That's how the Mahatmas come and work. They suffer for the sake of the humanity. All this is possible only when you cherish pure love towards God. That's the point. That is general. It is a general prescription. Generally, bhakti is considered easy path, particularly when you are burdened with the load of duties. The burden of duty is sitting on your head. So as long as that burden of duty is there, the only way is devotion. That's true. That's true. Only through the path of devotion you can unburden that load. Otherwise you cannot. The more you try to unburden, the more you feel the weight of the burden. We shall stop. It's 9 o'clock. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quenched that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are Thy names, O Lord, in each and every name Thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of Thy name. So vast is Thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to Thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without Thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at Thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of Thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of Thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O Thou who stealest the hearts of Thy devotees, do with me what Thou wilt, for Thou art my heart's beloved, Thou and Thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous reign tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works be satisfied. For He being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.